Today, it's finally time to do my houseplant tour for spring 2026. So we're gonna go around my apartment. I'm gonna show you every single one of my plants as best as I can, tell you a little bit about it, and then move on to the next one. I have a little over 200 different species and varieties of houseplants in my home, a couple doubles here and there. So let's say over 200 houseplants to go through today. So this is going to be a decently long video. So I hope you are settled in and mentally prepared. This apartment is a 2-bedroom apartment that features mostly west-facing windows, but there are some south-facing windows as well. So we do get a lot of light in here, and you will probably see throughout this video a lot of grow lights that I use in my home. These are all by Soltech. I actually work for Soltech, so shout out to Soltech. And if you like any of them, you can use code PhillyFoliage to save 15% on any of the grow lights you see today. I'm just gonna tell you that in advance before any of you ask about the grow lights. But yeah, that's really it. Let's go to the entryway of the apartment and get the tour started. Right when you walk in our home, this is what you see. We are in the entryway here, and there is one plant in the entryway. There is this little ZZ plant, or not little, it's pretty medium-sized, because this is a great plant for lower light settings. One of the only plants that can really handle low light very well. And this is obviously pretty far away from the nearest window. I would say it's not even receiving a lick of sunlight. So that's the perfect plant for deep into the space. This doorway in front of me here is our office or our guest room, and we have people stay with us. And then over on the left, it opens up to our living room. Let's start off in the office, since it's technically our first stop here in the home. We have a decent amount of plants in here. This is what I call my plant room. If you can see, it's kind of hard to get it in this entryway here, but we have it's kind of a work in progress over on this wall. In this corner, pretend this corner doesn't exist. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in this corner here. But over here, it looks a little bit nicer. So let's focus on that. Directly on your right, when you walk in the office, is this Dracaena Janet Craig. I think there's something wrong with her. Her leaves, they got like all this stuff on it. It looks like some kind of virus. For right now, just holding on to it until they figure out what's going on. Not really a great start to this video, but it is what it is. There's a couple plants down in the planter below it. There is an Aglaonema Spring Snow on the left. There is a Jade Pothos on the right, and hiding in the back, there is a little Aglaonema Modestum, just a plain green Aglaonema. Oh gosh, you've already seen this. I wanted to just kind of breeze by it. There is a Philodendron Bernardo Pazii in the pot, and then the cuttings that are looking a little worse for wear are some Philodendron Red Emerald from a plant you will see later on in this video. My IKEA greenhouse cabinet, I've already done a separate video with a plant tour, so if you are curious about any of the plants in this cabinet, I highly recommend checking out that video. And up here in this little mini greenhouse thing, sorry about the way the light is reacting with the camera here, I have some cacti and succulents that are a little too dangerous to be around my cat, so I do this to keep them away from her, because they're either spiny, poisonous, or both. The one on the right here is a Euphorbia trigona variegata. Then there's a little cactus. This is some kind of mammillaria. I think the common name is like the red-headed Irishman. There's a little cutting of a Philodendron licans down here that's from a plant you're gonna see later on in the video, so we will skip right over that and touch on this Euphorbia platyclada. Really interesting plant, kind of looks dead. I think they call this the dead stick plant. I think it is flowering. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to show you the flowers, but if you look carefully on the ends there, you can see like little yellowish ends. Those are the flowers. Little Stapelia cutting from a Stapelia you will also see later on in this video, so I won't touch on that. And instead, once again, move on to this Euphorbia leuconeuron. So Euphorbias are quite poisonous, hence why I keep them in this area out of reach for my cat, but they are really interesting plants, so I do like to grow them. And you can see with just these 3 examples here how different they are from one another, even though they're all very closely related. If we move over to this bookcase right here, what I want to do is get a second one of these bookcases, move the bookcase over, so there's 2 bookcases right here, move this cabinet over to where the bookcase is, and I think that's what we're going to do here, just to give you kind of a rough idea of my vision. But right now on this single bookshelf, we do have a couple of plants. Up top, we have a Philodendron Billietiae. That one leaf has been yellowing. It's been taking its time yellowing. I've been just letting it do its thing. It's arguably making the plant look a little less glorious, but it still looks fantastic. This is a Hoya globulosa. They also call it a different name sometimes, but I can't remember what it is off of my head. This is some kind of Hoya UT followed by numbers. I'll figure it out and put it on screen, just kind of trailing its way down the side here. I think it works its way all the way down. And then there is a Sansevieria pinguicula. The walking Sansevieria, does this need a little bit more light? Yes, but these west-facing windows do have a lot of sun come in. Once the sun moves past that building right there and is in the sky over yonder, there's a lot of light that comes in here. So for right now, it's okay, but should there be a grow light supplementing this plant? Absolutely. Down below that, we have our Syndapsis trubii dark form. I'm not going to be able to take it out with just one hand, so just try to get a good look at it. It's very, very dark. The leaves are nearly black. Incredible houseplant, very slow growing though. Up on the shelf, we have this Peperomia quadrangularis, very easy peperomia to grow in my experience. A Hoya croniana. This has a name that I don't want to say, so I'm not going to. It flowers very regularly, very, very often, and the flowers, they smell very sweet and cinnamony, but sometimes when I don't realize this plant is flowering and I walk in the room, I think Muffin peed on the floor, which he's literally never done before, but it like kind of smells like cat pee in a way. It hits me instantly now that I've had this plant for so long that I realize, no, Muffin did not pee in here, it's just my Hoya croniana flowering. But yeah, fun little story about that. You can see down below, there's 2 peduncles, one's producing some flowers right now. This is a Dischidia rucifolia. They call this the million hearts plant, one of the most common Dischidias out there, and this is my Hoya Banyang Nyoy. I recently cut it back with a bunch of cuttings, and I think it looks incredible, so much more full than it was before. And the last plant on the shelf is this Hoya pubicalyx. This is actually the first Hoya I ever got. I got this in a plant trade I did in like 2018 with one of my first subscribers right when I first started my YouTube channel, and I still have it to this day. It's super splashy, so I'm assuming maybe it's like Hoya pubicalyx splash, but I don't really know. I just call it that. Underneath one of my Soltech lights, I have my fiddle leaf fig, which has been absolutely thriving in this corner. It is right next to the window, but most of the year there's not a lot of light coming in the office until like April through September, I would say. So right now she gets a lot of light and probably doesn't need the grow light, but it looks good, so I'm just keeping it that way. This is one of my platyceriums that I recently cut back and I'm waiting for it to regrow. This is where she is sitting right on the floor where she gets hit by the grow light and from the window light, as you can see here. All right, let's move our way down into the window. You know what, actually, let's start up high and then we'll work our way down. The furthest plant back here is my Hoya curtisii. Had this one for a while. Hasn't grown too much for me recently, although it still has plenty of leaves on it, so it doesn't really matter. Flowers once a year all over the plant. I don't know what time of year it is, but it'll just be covered in flowers. It's quite awesome. Then we have this Ripsalis paradoxa. She's grown quite a bit. She's got all of these little chain links. I love her. She took a while to start growing, but once she started growing, she has not stopped. This is a Hoya 8. I actually hate this thing. It's ugly. It's ugly. I'm sorry, but it's ugly. And this is the Dischidia Jerry. We have a Hoya kentiana variegata, and my Ripsalis pentaptera right here. Also very, very slow growing. I put it in the closet, which we will get to in a couple minutes, where I have a grow light. It started to be covered in new growth for the first time in years, so I moved it back in the window, and all of that new growth has started to die. So we are back at square one, and I have learned my lesson. All right, let's move back into the back corner of the window here. This is my Hoya fungii. Now, I've had 2 different Hoya fungii over my time growing houseplants. This one looks a little different. The leaves are less round. The flowers do still look like Hoya fungii. You can see it's flowering right now. Can't really get in there to show you the flowers any better than this right now. So is it a fungii for sure? I'm not sure, I guess. I don't know. This is my Peperomia bellii. It looks very similar to Peperomia hope. It's what Steve's Leaf sells. I've just accepted that it's not Peperomia hope. I guess it's like kind of more blue-green than green. Peperomia hope is more green. That's the only difference I can really point out. Then we have this Hoya crinkles tinkles. Really silly name, that is kind of creeping on the floor here with these darker leaves. More of a variety, I guess. And then this is a Ripsalis. It's like Martiana Ferrari or something. Of course, I'll put the name on screen. We have my string of hearts, Ceropegia linearis, subspecies woodii variegata. Total mouthful name, but you could just call it variegated string of hearts. We have Peperomia kimnachii right here. Started growing for me finally. I've had this one for a while. Hoya talinantan. Quite beautiful leaves, are quite long. And some kind of Sansevieria. I always forget what this is. I don't even think I actually know enough to put a name on screen. If you have any insight, let me know. It's a very pronounced variegation, like the classic snake plant variegation, and the leaf edges get like a little brown, I guess. I really like it. And then there's this Sansevieria masoniana, the whalefin Sansevieria. And then I have this Ficus Teneki. No, actually, this is Ficus elastica ruby. She gets a little bit more red in the new growth. We'll see the Teneki, the classic variegated one, in a little bit. Okay, moving on into this window right here. I would like to fill up this window with succulents, but right now this is all I have. I have this, oh, I already forget the name of this, like a gymno something. I don't know. I'll put the name on screen. And she's about to flower. See a little thing on it, the bud? Can I zoom in? Maybe I can? Yeah, that's a little flower on her. Then we have this booby cactus. I got that one pretty recently. And then my Astrophytum variegata, although she looks a little deflated. I just watered her the other day because I was like, I don't know the last time I watered her, and she looks a little sad and deflated, so don't really know what's going on there. Hopefully it's not dying, because I really like this one. But yeah, that's how she looks right now. And over this part of the window, I have my Hoya polyneura, the like fishtail Hoya, and then this is a Hoya passiflora that I'm growing in semi-hydro. Hasn't done too much. It's already off like this strand up here. This vine up here. All right, down in this window, we have a Hoya carrii. This is a Sansevieria kirkii coppertone.
Okay, tell you what. This one, this is my favorite. Wait. This one, that's it. No, hold on. This is my favorite. Now that I think about it, maybe this is my favorite.
Sansevieria kirkii coppertone. This is a Hoya fishii that I recently put on a little hoop. Dischidia echina. This is kind of a more out there Dischidia. I don't really see this one sold on the market ever. A Hoya Mathai, Mathild, Matilda, I never know how to pronounce it. It literally doesn't even matter. And a Peperomia Dolstedtii. This is something I recently cut back and restarted, and it's looking fantastic. This, I think, is Peperomia Ecuador. I got this recently, talked about it in a recent plant haul, plant unboxing. It's putting off some new leaves that are a little bit more silver than the ones that were on the plant when I got it. And then finally, this, I think, is a Peperomia angulata. It looks a little more like a Peperomia tetragona or petiolata, but the leaves are more green. So yeah, I like this one. Moving to my desk, I actually have a little landing area for some plants. So this is my Peperomia maculosa. I have it in the cabinet that you'll see in a second, but I moved it out recently because it's just been growing flowers. And I don't know how to get it to grow leaves. It just wants to grow flowers. So yeah, let me know if you know how to make Peperomia maculosa grow leaves. It looks beautiful otherwise. And then this is some Pilea luminensis or Pilea glauca, they call it. This I really just got for like cuttings for terrariums. But when I get that other shelf at some point in, it starts to trail down. I think that could be really cute. Underneath another grow light, we have this Monstera constellation that is putting a new leaf, as you can see. And then getting down into the desk, we have, lift this off. This is some Live Sphagnum moss. I really like moss lately. I don't know why. I just like moss. This is a Sansevieria boncal cylindrica. My Hoya calistophylla has barely done anything for me over the last 6, count them, years. Maybe 2 leaves have grown, no more than that. I also have another little moss terrarium here, just some like cushion moss or mood moss.
Oh, carefully get this back on. And next to my other, this is a grow light, by the way. I know this looks like a lamp, but it's another grow light by Soltech. I have my false Aurelia or my Plorandra. Moving on to that cabinet that I was just referencing. So this is my Nilsbo IKEA greenhouse cabinet that I've kind of modified, let's say. So I just followed like a TikTok demonstration that I saw. So I used the like picture grid, I think they call it. And then I just also used these like, there's some magnetic hooks up top, and I also screwed some of them. You can see like right here, it's kind of rusty. I screwed it into the holes, and then I just like hung up the grid stuff like that. I zip tied them together so it looks a little more tight, and I'm using like shelves to hang, and then these little like planter, I don't know, containers. I don't think this is meant for plants, but I'm using it for plants, and I think it works really well. Can I recommend doing this without a problem, like rust or it falling over? No, not necessarily, but I haven't had that problem yet. Anyway, let's get into the plants that we have in here. So this isn't